The whispers began again. Softly at first, like a rumor resurrected from a forgotten corner of the internet. Then, within hours, it spread like wildfire. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson, a secret baby? It sounded impossible, absurd even. But in Hollywood, the line between fantasy and truth has always been dangerously thin. Fans had seen this movie before, quite literally. Years ago, when 50 Shades of Grey exploded onto the screen, Jamie and Dakota's chemistry became something larger than fiction. It was electric, intimate, and far too real for many to believe it was just acting. Every interview, every stolen glance, every shy smile became a clue in an ongoing love story the public desperately wanted to believe in. When the rumors first began back then, both stars handled it the same way they always did, with silence. Dakota brushed off questions, Jamie laughed nervously, and life went on. They both moved on with their respective partners, their careers, their separate lives. But to those who watched closely, something about their connection never truly faded. There was always that unspoken understanding, a tension that lingered just beyond the camera lens. Then came the photo. Out of nowhere, a grainy image surfaced online last week. It appeared to show Jamie and Dakota leaving a private clinic in Los Angeles, their faces hidden, moving quickly toward a black SUV. The photo was instantly dissected by fans across social media. Some swore it was old. Others insisted it was taken just days ago. But the details, the date on the parking meter, the shadows, the matching clothes, suggested otherwise. Within hours, hashtags like #Jamie and Dakota baby rumor and #50 Shades real life began trending worldwide. Fans flooded comment sections with shock and confusion. Is this real? Why would they be together there? Could it finally be true? It wasn't just the fans talking this time. Entertainment blogs, gossip sites, and even major media outlets picked up the story. One article boldly claimed that a source, close to the actors, confirmed the existence of a child, born in secret. Others dismissed it as yet another wild fan theory, except for one thing. Neither Jamie nor Dakota denied it. Their silence was louder than words. People who knew Jamie described him as private, fiercely protective of his family. He had often spoken about wanting to keep his wife and daughters away from public attention. Dakota, on the other hand, had always been open yet careful, someone who revealed enough to stay relatable but never enough to lose control of the narrative. The idea that these two would choose silence over scandal was, strangely, believable. But then came something no one expected. An old interview clip from 2018 resurfaced. In it, Dakota had laughed nervously when asked if she and Jamie had ever stayed in touch after filming ended. Her answer was vague but telling. Some connections don't need to be public to be real. The quote exploded across platforms once again, now being reinterpreted in a whole new light. As speculation grew, paparazzi began hunting for answers. Dakota was spotted leaving a studio in New York, wearing oversized sunglasses and a loose trench coat. Jamie was photographed in London, looking tense, avoiding reporters. The distance between them seemed physical, but the timing of their movements, flights, appearances, posts, lined up too neatly to be coincidence. One fan account posted a timeline that instantly went viral. It showed both stars disappearing from public events around the same period months ago, followed by a string of cryptic social media posts. A song lyric from Dakota. A black and white sunset from Jamie. Both shared within the same day. They're hiding something, the caption read. For a moment, the internet felt divided. Half believed the story, convinced that the connection between Jamie and Dakota was far deeper than anyone ever knew. The other half dismissed it as fanfiction gone too far. But everyone agreed on one thing. Something was happening. And then, late one night, a single post changed everything. It came not from a journalist, not from a fan page, but from a verified account, Jamie Dornan's official profile. The caption was simple, almost cryptic. Some stories write themselves. Attached was a black and white photo of him holding what appeared to be a small hand, too small to be an adult's. No context, no tags, no explanation. Within minutes, the internet exploded. The photo was shared millions of times. Comments poured in, theories flooded TikTok, and even mainstream outlets began using the word confirmation. It wasn't official. It wasn't even explicit. But to millions of people watching, it didn't need to be. Jamie Dornan had just reignited one of Hollywood's most mysterious stories, and this time, it felt different. Because for the first time ever, Dakota Johnson wasn't staying silent. When Dakota Johnson finally broke her silence, the world stopped scrolling. It wasn't a press release, not an interview, not even a grand statement. Just a quiet post that appeared less than 12 hours after Jamie's cryptic photo went viral. It was a picture of sunlight spilling through a window. On the sill sat a tiny pair of shoes, white, soft, and new. Her caption read only 3 words: "Love finds light." It was enough. Within seconds, social media erupted. News outlets pushed notifications, headlines screamed, and fans flooded every comment section imaginable. For the first time, the unthinkable began to feel real. Could it be that Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson, two people whose on-screen chemistry had captivated millions, had been bound by a secret far deeper than anyone could imagine? The post went viral in every language. Celebrities began liking and commenting with heart emojis. Fan pages stitched together timelines, matching the dates between Jamie's post and Dakota's, the subtle synchronicity too perfect to ignore. "They're telling us without telling us," one fan wrote. "This is their way of saying yes." But behind the glossy headlines and the romantic hysteria, there was a strange calm from the two stars themselves. Neither offered further explanation. Neither confirmed nor denied. It was as though they had silently agreed to let the world draw its own conclusions, and perhaps, that was exactly their intention. People close to Jamie described the moment as liberating. For years, he had carried the burden of fame, a spotlight that burned too bright, one that often distorted the truth. "Jamie's always been protective," a close friend allegedly said. "He's learned that silence is safer than explanation. And maybe, after all this time, he simply chose peace over permission." For Dakota, the moment marked something softer, not a revelation, but a reflection. She had grown from the mischievous actress of her early career into a woman who valued depth, privacy, and intention. The Dakota the world saw now wasn't trying to shock anyone. She was simply acknowledging what mattered. In the days that followed, the world began connecting dots faster than any journalist could keep up with. Paparazzi captured photos of Dakota boarding a flight to Belfast, Jamie's hometown. Another image showed Jamie arriving at the same airport, hours apart, both wearing the same understated clothes, both refusing to speak to reporters. Then came the final piece, a short video clip from a charity gala in London. Jamie, standing before the crowd, thanked supporters and spoke briefly about the strength of love and the beauty of quiet beginnings. His tone was sincere, almost trembling. And when someone in the audience shouted, "Is it true, Jamie?" he simply smiled and said, "Some stories aren't meant to be explained." Just felt. That single line broke the internet all over again. By now, even the most skeptical voices had softened. Fans who once accused tabloids of fabrication began to see something undeniable, the tenderness in both their silences. Maybe this wasn't about a secret baby or a scandal. Maybe it was about two people who had once shared something rare, something fragile, and chose to protect it in the only way they could, privately. And yet, there was still one question everyone kept asking: why now? Some believed it was timing. Both stars entering a new chapter of life, finally ready to let go of old fears. Others thought it was a message, a quiet way of reclaiming a story long stolen by gossip. Whatever the reason, the truth resonated beyond headlines. It became symbolic. A story about authenticity in a world obsessed with exposure. Meanwhile, fans revisited old interviews, rediscovered clips, and reread their words with new meaning. The way Jamie once said, "She's one of the bravest people I know." The way Dakota smiled and added, "We'll always have trust, no matter what." Suddenly, those small, innocent exchanges seemed to carry an entire secret history within them. Days later, a photographer managed to capture what many called the final confirmation. Jamie and Dakota, leaving a cafe in Notting Hill, surrounded by security. There was no drama, no hiding. She laughed at something he said. He placed a hand gently on her shoulder as they walked away. It was a fleeting moment, but the expression on their faces said everything: calm, content, unbothered. No words could have confirmed it better. By the end of the week, even major entertainment outlets changed their tone. The story stopped being about scandal and started being about something more profound: connection. The kind that outlives films, rumors, and distance. As one magazine elegantly put it, they may never say it out loud, but maybe love doesn't need an announcement when it's already written in silence. And perhaps that was the real shocking twist all along. Not that the rumors were true, but that amid the noise of fame and speculation, Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson had quietly reminded the world that love, in its purest form, doesn't need validation. It just needs to be felt.